Okay, I'm here in the Texas heat working on the Cobra. So I have this shifter issue that I will show to you now. So here's the shifter, and obviously it's supposed to go back and forth. So the problem is that when I go into first and second, it stays there. When I go to third and fourth, it stays there. When I go to 4, 5, and 6, it pops back to 3 and 4. So the problem is it doesn't want to come out of 1 and 2. It should never do this. It should always go back to 3 and 4 right there. So I called MGW and I said, hey, I'm having this issue, and I was wondering if the springs were in the transmission or in the shifter, and they told me that it was in the shifter. So here I am going to remove the shifter boot, the shifter handle, and we will get in there and see if we can get these new springs in. So here's the springs that they sent me. So they are one for the passenger side and one for the driver's side, and they cost me $10 plus about $4 shipping and handling, so about $14. So anyways, I am going to get on this right now. So let's start by taking off the boot. Once the shifter handle is off, it's just a matter of pulling the boot off. And I've got a nest of cables there because I have all these LED lights in the car. See, like right over there kind of thing. So anyway, so that's kind of why I have all these things. So that is off. Alright. Once the boot is off, I'm guessing I'm going to have to take off the rubber boot that covers the shifter. So I'm going to have to take off the handle and remove these screws. So let's get to that. Alright, I just had a really hard time finding all the Allen wrenches, but now that I found mine, I'm going to see if I can find one that'll fit right in there. Handle has been loosened. Removing the gold hammer handle. That leaves me with this. Now I just need to take the boot off. Found an 8mm is what fit these screws perfectly. So I'm removing the rubber boot now. So in mine, the rubber boot disconnected from this little framing piece, so that's out there. And here we remove this guy, and we're left with that. Now we need to remove the boot from here. I'm gonna be careful not to make that hole any worse than what it is. Which, by the way, there's a screw on both sides, which they don't need to be adjusted, those screws, because according to MGW, it makes the shifter, those are this bolt here and the bolt, quite frankly, back here don't need to be used because we don't use the stops on a T56 transmission. We only use the internal stops that are built into the transmission. Alright, so I made it this far. I need to make a note to self to buy a new one of these covers because that one looks like it's seen better days. And now I'm going to remove these 4 bolts because as best as I can tell, the springs, I think, should either be like in here and here. See, and it still does it. That's first, second, third, fourth. And there that bounces back. Alright. I got all 4 bolts removed. And I'm noticing that I need to be extra careful because there are actually some look washers in there. So I'm going to raise this straight up. And hopefully, oh my gosh, that thing is hot. Hold on a second. Alright. got a glove. I'm gonna carefully pick this up and, well, there's one of the screws that came out. I guess you see the screws. I'm gonna put this over here for a second. Alright, you see there's one screw right there, and then the other screw looks like it just popped out. I think it fell on my floorboard, so I think I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna hunt for it, make sure. When I have the new springs, and I'll put them both in. Both springs are out. I just find it interesting that there's that nut there and not one over here. So anyways, so we got the new ones right here. So we're gonna start getting these and putting them in and see how this goes. So here I have the spring that is labeled passenger. So I'm going to put it right in here. Then here I have the driver spring. I'm going to place it right in there. It just seems like it should go down more, but I guess that's what that other plate does, is it compresses all of that. Alright, so just for grins and giggles, I mean, this just, hold on. So after looking at it a little bit more carefully, I realized that there's these little stoppers on the original springs. So those little stoppers need to be put on the end of the spring, and then the spring can be put back in on the shifter. So I think I'm ready to put this all back together now. So I'm torquing down one at a time until it gets snug, and then going to the next one. For some reason, the two on the front closest to me were giving me a little bit of an issue. So I torqued these guys down. That is a whole lot more promising. From here, coming back from both sides. Alright, now I'm gonna reverse the order on it, and I will come back to you whenever I have this thing all sealed back up. I'll be back in a second. So here I am, putting in the final screws here that insulate the car. But just to kind of give her one more test. First, second, neutral, 3-4, 5-6, back to 3-4. So that I do like a lot more. And I'll be back here in a second once I'm done, just to do it a final testing, and then I'll share with you what the actual problem was. Okay, so I lied. That just that is just working so much better than what it was. Alright, let me finish it up. Here we are again at the starting point. That is a working shifter. So, as promised. So the issue was, as I was taking out all the different springs, I noticed that this is what the spring should look like. So this is what was on the driver's side, and it was all steel complete. But then I went to take the one piece off the passenger side, and this is what I found. The spring itself had become broken. And you can see it on this side, the coil doesn't finish. So, and that's what happened. So, get on MGW, they know that these things can wear out and will wear out. They sent me 2 new ones. I got them, I was able to install them. I wish they would have been provided some instructions. But even without the instructions, I was able to get it done. I really wish that they had the instructions, because there's those little pieces that go on the very bottom of them. You know, those little like round caps that go on the bottom that I didn't know I was supposed to look for, and I didn't know I was supposed to keep. And obviously one spring holding on to them and the other one not kind of made it fall, and I was like, wait a second, that looks like something we need. I pulled out the other spring and I saw it attached, and I was like, okay, I know what needs to go here. But had it not stuck to the one broken spring, I would not have known that. So I really wish that they would have provided some instructions along with the tools. But to be quite honest, all in all, it was fairly simple to get it up and running again. And now I have a shifter that actually will shift into 3rd gear whenever I want it to. And I guess all is back right with the world. Anyways, hopefully if you find this video helpful, you know, just, I guess, give it a thumbs up. I guess that's what everybody else has to do. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Bye.